A hare grazes in a clearing surrounded by the forest edge. An uneasy feeling comes over him, like he's being watched. He makes for the tree line, seeking safety among the shrubs, but it does him no good. Like a ghost, a predator glides through the woods, seemingly unobstructed by the leaves and branches in its flight path. An almost supernatural speed carries the raptor's talons to their furry target. The goshawk is a born fighter pilot, and it's as at home in the wild blue yonder as it is in the thick forest. But the combination of versatility and velocity may be the edge this bird needs in life, death, and taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's your 30 minutes of interesting animal info. I'm Joe.
And I am Carlos.
And today we're talking about the ghost of the forest. But more on that later.
Yes, very ghost-like. The name of this one, I can't pronounce it correctly without thinking about it for a second. So what we're talking about is the northern goshawk.
The Goshawk.
But it looks like Goshawk, which is static Goshawk. There, that's my first nickname. We'll throw that in there. Goshawk Shank Redemption. That's all I got. But we're going to call it here the Ravenous Raptor, the terrible, territorial Talon Tickler.
He tickles talons?
Yes, and then or he tickles with his talons, and Goshawk Eye. There we go. I almost said it wrong. Goshawk Eye. But yeah, we are... So if it's a goshawk, probably kind of have something in your mind, what we're talking about. But let me taxonomize it for you so that you are still just as confused. The kingdom you know, love, and are in, that kingdom is Animalia. The phylum is Chordata. The class is Aves. It's a bird. Hooray, hawk. The order is Accipitriformes, which we've been here before because that is birds of prey. The family is Accipitridae. The genus is Accipiter. I'm seeing a trend here. And the species is Gentilis. So it's Accipiter gentilis, which is misleading. I would not call this bird genteel. But if I saw a group of the birds, I would definitely call it by its collective noun. So that means it's time for my favorite part of the show, critter groups. The part of the show where I ask you, Joe, a question, and that question is the same every time. What is the collective noun for this animal? Or what is the term of venery? Or what is the name of a group of this animal? Wow, I mixed that up, but I got all three. So, and there is one for goshawks in particular. I thought I was going to have to go like birds of prey or hawks. But nope, there's one specifically for goshawks. So if you saw a group of goshawks, would you say that's A, a glare of goshawks, B, a harassment of goshawks, C, a spit of goshawks, or D, a catch of goshawks? This is I have to stop every time to try to orient myself to be able to say the name of the animal.
Harassment, final answer.
Incorrect. The answer is glare. So it's actually appropriate.
You never expect the appropriate one.
Nope, you can't. It's the honest ones you want to look out for, because you never know when they're going to do something completely stupid. All right, yeah, it's a glare of goshawks. Let's talk about what these guys look like. So, to the layman, which is definitely me, or at least until I looked up several pictures of goshawks, they look just like your typical hawk. You know, the typical small-ish bird of prey, not quite eagle. They have shorter, broader wings than most hawks. They have long tails, and this helps them maneuver through the trees in the forest that they live in. They have thick, strong yellow claws with black talons, and their eyes are orange. And they have short, hooked beaks that are yellow with black tips. And an adult's feathers are a mixture of light and dark grays, with the darker grays being on the tops of their head, the crown, the cheeks, the tips of the wings, and kind of in bars along the tail. And the throat, shoulders, and underside are much lighter, if not even white. And this is kind of the counter shading we've mentioned many times with many different animals, especially predators. So that they are harder to detect when you're looking up and harder to detect when you're looking down. But that's just the adults. The juveniles are a mottled brown, and they look a lot like your average hawk. So an adult, you can tell it's not a hawk because it's gray. Most hawks aren't gray. But juveniles are brown, and so that looks like a red-shouldered hawk or a Cooper's hawk.
Cooper's hawk.
That was what I was thinking of. As they age, they actually grow paler once into adulthood. So older hawks are even their darker shades get lighter. So I guess that's the only thing left to talk about.
In terms of the description, there's one other thing. I think we're thinking the same things.
Oh no.
Well, that brings us to the Beloved Measure Up segment. That's right, we're going with Beloved now. The official listener's favorite part of the show. The part of the show that's introduced by you when you send in audio of yourself saying, singing, or chittering the words measure up into ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. We do have a new measure up intro this week from Nora.
Nice.
Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show.
Critter groups.
Now wait just a second. What is this uprising? She said, I must show my support for my favorite segment in this age of political turmoil. Viva la revolution. Abbas less measures.
I am so vindicated.
Abbas, how would you pronounce that? Down with measurements? Down with measure? Down the measures?
It sounds like French.
It is French.
I don't speak French.
Same.
Although I have studied it a little bit, I don't know how to say down with things.
A-B-A-S. A space B-A-S.
Abba. It would just be Abba. There's no... I do know that you don't pronounce that last consonant. So, yeah, I agree. Abba with measure up. Nice. Thank you, Nora.
Much to the chagrin of the proletariat, we're going to do measure up.
You're the bourgeoisie. Who's in this dynamic? Critter Group's lovers are definitely the.
I'm the incumbent.
The oppressed. It means you're still president.
Right. Yeah, this is the incumbent group.
Yes,
the incumbent segment.
That is the bourgeoisie. You're the one who's in power when clearly it belongs to the working man and woman.
All right.
Working woman is not the right term I was going for.
Working person.
Working person. There we go.
So, let's talk about female wingspan. Thank you, Nora, by the way.
Yes, thank you very much.
Despite the horrible betrayal, it is always nice to have some sort of interaction from the people that listen. So,
especially the best interactions.
Females are larger and have a wingspan of 108 to 127 centimeters, or 43 to 50 inches. How many wingspans go into the range of the Sikorsky UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter?
Okay. Is this the one from the movie?
Black Hawk Down?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen Black Hawk Down.
Oh, it's really good. You should check it out. It's got like Michael Fassbender and Ewan McGregor in it. And Orlando Bloom's in it too.
I like a Fassbender.
Yeah. I'm assuming you have some sort of
you'd like a hint. Okay. A helicopter's range is how far it can fly. Helicopters can fly between 2.5 to 8 hours before needing to refuel.
8.5 hours.
2.5 to 8 hours.
And we're probably going with the maximum.
Yeah, when I saw the upper end of average for the wingspan, 50 inches. And I guess if you looked up Black Hawk helicopter range, what it would say. So it's probably the average, not pushing it to its limits, not crashing at its destination.
Does that include? You should watch Black Hawk Down. Spoiler alert: there's a Black Hawk that goes down. Is it the comfortable range, including the point of no return? And would it be able? Is it its range, including its ability to return to its starting point, like its radius of effect?
No. I think it's how far it can go before it has to refuel.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to go with 1,500 miles. 8 hours is a long time. I know they don't go anywhere fast as.
I don't know if this particular helicopters in general are 2.5 to 8 hours in the air.
I feel like this one would be better than the average helicopter.
Probably better than the average, but maybe not the best ever.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of how fast they would move. Could probably move like a couple hundred miles an hour. And, 8 hours.
They move exactly a couple hundred miles an hour.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with 1,500 miles. 1.9 million Goshawk wingspans go into the range. Yes, final answer.
The correct answer is 458,726 Goshawks.
That doesn't make any sense.
The helicopter has a range of around 362 miles.
That's pathetic.
Helicopters that's 582.
Do my tax dollars go to our defense fund?
Kilometers. They're not designed to go the distance.
They should be, right?
They're designed to hover. They're designed to transport people across difficult terrain
and shoot missiles.
And they're designed to get into places that other vehicles can't. If you want to go the distance, get in a plane.
I know, but
because if a plane runs out of fuel, you can glide to the ground. If a helicopter runs out of fuel, you're gonna die.
But you gotta you've got to medevac people from really far away and stuff, right? I've seen MASH.
Usually get them from I don't know, nearby.
I don't know. I feel like it would be really useful to be able to go 1,500 miles, but clearly the U.S. military doesn't agree with me.
They're also just...
They never do. They've ignored all of my emails. But I'm going to send another one. This one's going to have lots of frowny faces. Anyway. Also, that sounds like their range with the ability to...
But 200 miles per hour, if you went...
Wait, so they can go 200 miles an hour, which means they can only fly for about an hour and a half before they run out of fuel?
I guess, maybe.
I'm thinking that's their range before they hit the point of no return. So if you had a helicopter pad with a Black Hawk on it, the radius of the circle you could draw around it of its range would be 300 and whatever you said miles. Where the reality is it could go more like 700 miles. If you just flew straight until you ran out of fuel kind of thing.
Perhaps.
Anyway. Goodness.
Okay.
I thought it was right on the money with that one too. 200 miles an hour for 8 hours, that's 1,600 miles. That's right where I landed.
I should have given you less information. I think I ruined you with the information that I had.
I wouldn't know.
Let's talk about female weight. Females can be as much as twice the weight of males at 1,150 grams or 2.5 pounds. How many goshawks go into a cubic meter of osmium?
Osmium?
Yeah.
How does that tie into
it doesn't.
The Goshawk?
It doesn't. There's just whenever it's an animal that's from everywhere, and I can't take a moment to like look at the like some cool stuff about a particular country, I just go with something else. Here's a hint: osmium is among the heaviest metals, and has an atomic mass of 190.23 little tiny u. What's that called?
A cubic. It's atomic weight, right?
Yeah. What's the U stand for? Unified atomic mass units.
I'll say it weighs a ton. Because I'm visualizing like a cubic meter, and it's just it's like a big packing box. And if that weighed a ton, that would be a very dense material. Maybe steel. If it was just plain old steel, it might weigh a ton. So I'll go with 2 tons. And this is 2.5 pounds. So I'm saying the answer is 1,600. I'm probably way off. This thing is probably like 10 tons or something like that. But 1,600 is my final answer.
1,600. The correct answer is 19,607 goshawks.
Yep.
A square meter of osmium is...
It really is 10 tons.
22,590 kilograms, or 49,802 pounds.
Oh, wait. No, it's not. It's not 10 tons. It's 20 tons. More than 20 tons.
A cubic meter of steel is 7,850 kilograms.
Yeah, stuff's a lot heavier than I thought. Can you imagine? Like, are you envisioning just like a large packing box and that weighing 50,000 pounds?
Yeah, just being immobile, just completely like
it weighs as much as a semi truck.
That is pretty crazy. Lead would be really heavy then too. I wonder what a box of lead would be.
Osmium's heavier than lead, right? Lead's just more popular with the kids.
to eat. In paint.
They don't put osmium in paint.
Because kids don't like it. They don't like the refreshing taste of...
Can you...
unleash the power of the lead.
Can you see why kids love the taste of osmium toast crunch? That lifeguard didn't know what hit him. 50,000 pounds of osmium is what hit him. Anyway.
All right. That's all I got for that. You have any fast facts before we get into the major fact?
I do. I want to touch on the diet, unless it's going to step on your toes.
No.
Just on like what they eat. So they eat, like many birds of prey, in particular many raptors. They eat a wide variety of small birds and mammals. But the goshawk eats they estimated it at about 500 different species of birds and mammals, which is a pretty wide range. And I didn't even mention the actual range of the bird. You mentioned earlier that it was from everywhere, and you're right. It kind of stretches this band across the entire Earth, from the band's latitude to be about from Alaska to Mexico, and then just take that and move it all the way across the world. So all the way into the entirety of Europe, lower Scandinavia into Russia and the Western Asia, all the way to Japan, and then so it's the whole kit and caboodle. It's not in South America, Greenland, Australia, or Africa, or South Asia, or the Middle East, but it's everywhere else, and that's why it's so well studied. You can actually find a lot of information on the goshawk.
There's another reason. I don't know if you're going to talk about it.
Why
they're incredibly popular in falconry.
Oh, I did not know that. Is it because they're abnormally intelligent, or just everywhere, abundant?
Little column A, little column B, probably.
Because they're not falcons.
It's not just falcons.
Can you imagine just...
It's also goshawks.
Can you imagine telling your friends that you're a falconer? That's awesome.
I saw a video of a woman like trying to bond with a goshawk for the first time, and she has it like on her hand, and she takes its hood off, and it freaks out for a while, and then it just sits there, and she's just like staying completely still. And it's a very interesting video. Like she's trying not to move at all, so it gets used to her presence.
Interesting. We can delve into a whole thing about falconry, but like, do they send them out to go get something? Like, what is the sport?
Well, back in the day, it was hunting. You would hunt with a falcon.
Oh, it would just help you spot things.
Well, it would kill things like rabbits.
Oh, that's no fun. Just go. Then you might as well just have all you have to do is train it to come back to you.
But like in the Middle Ages, it was like
Very useful.
Useful, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not,
now it's like it prevails as like a like somebody who's like a blacksmith today or something, like, this art form or kind of thing.
It's not I thought it was like a hunting dog where it helps you hunt. It doesn't do the hunting for you.
No, it's not really a sport animal. It's not really a sport. I don't know if they would consider it a sport, but like its roots are in like we need food.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to be able to train a bird to go get you food and not eat it itself. But so speaking of food, like I said, the goshawk mainly eats smaller birds and mammals. Its main diet is birds, but it also a good portion of it is squirrels and rabbits. So, but it will basically grab anything with feathers or fur on it. And surprisingly, it does not really eat fish or reptiles or amphibians. I would think that would be very easy prey for it, but nope. It likes stuff that's fast and hard to catch because it's fast. So goshawks tend to make their nests as high as possible in old, tall, coniferous trees. I feel like I said that wrong, but I think I said it right. And here's a sentence that I found on the Wikipedia page. While the male is building, the female perches in the vicinity, occasionally screaming, sometimes flying to inspect the nest.
Sounds normal.
It sounds like they have a very healthy domestic relationship. But they also can sometimes steal the nests of other birds, like vultures. And they're so aggressive that they can fight off the other birds, or sometimes eat the other birds. The female lays about 3 to 4 eggs in a clutch and will defend the nest vigorously, even attacking humans that pass by in some cases.
Oofta.
Never killing them, but sometimes managing to draw blood because they do have like giant knives on their feet. But they're not scared of you, and they're fast. And the male will go out periodically and bring food back once the eggs have hatched. And it actually won't go to the nest. It'll bring food to a nearby branch, and the female will go over to the food and tear off pieces and feed those chunks to the kiddos. That's all I got. There's a lot more to it, but for the purposes of this show, I don't want to go into it because, yes, apparently they are used for falconry, and that's why every single tidbit of information about these birds is known, including like the dimensions of their eggs, the possible dimensions of their eggs. Yeah. So we'll just leave it at the general info.
Yeah, I didn't have much on their eyesight in particular, but they have extremely excellent eyesight.
They got those orange eyes.
So let's talk about the major fact. The goshawk is built to utilize both cover and speed to hunt its prey. They like to hunt in forests and on the edges of clearings. They specifically prefer large patches of mature forest over younger forest for some reason, probably because older forests have taller trees and they can nest in and hunt in. So they hunt by switching between scanning from a perched position and short, low flights that last around a minute and a half. But this perch-style hunting may be abandoned for high soaring, kind of like eagles do, in urban environments.
Huh.
There was a guy that did. There was like a series of studies on like what's their preferred hunting method, and one guy's like, I saw them like 80% of the time soaring, in like looking for prey that way. But then he's like, but I live in Germany and there's a lot of urban areas nearby, and it's way easier to see a bird hunting, in the sky than it is like in the woods. So then they did other studies and found 90% of the time, when they're not necessarily in an urban area, they're doing this perch and like brief flight.
The perch and swoop
style of hunting. So they're among the fastest birds of prey when it comes to horizontal flight in pursuit of food, reaching speeds of up to 38 miles per hour. Can't outrun that bird.
No, but the peregrine falcon can outfly it.
Well, the peregrine falcon reaches its like 90 miles per hour in a downward
when it's falling,
flight.
yeah.
But I don't know. It might still be faster. But I saw that like in terms of horizontal flight, it's among the fastest. They're often described as reckless and relentless when it comes to hunting. But how can they fly that fast in their preferred habitat, which is dense forests? Goshawks have special adaptations that allow them to hunt in dense woods. They're able to deftly navigate dense vegetation. I wrote dance
vegetation.
They're even capable of flying just a few feet off the ground.
At 40 miles an hour.
Yeah. They use the trees and low flight to gain cover as they approach prey. Unlike their fellow forest hunters, the owls, who utilize slow, silent flying, the goshawks use cover and speed. And
screaming the whole way.
just to discombobulate. So they have a split-second reaction time that allows them to fly through a group of trees while finding a path through tiny spaces and gaps between the green, kind of like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Premium Rush. A reference everyone will understand.
I'm digging in my brain to even remember anything from that movie outside of bikes.
He was just like he never put brakes on his bikes, and he had like the special ability to be able to like in a split second navigate a path through dangerous traffic. But they can also fit in tight spaces by folding their wings like a torpedo.
Ooh, nice.
However, they can do this without losing altitude because of their unique tail feathers. And when you're flying like just a few feet off the ground,
you can't lose altitude.
Yeah, you can't lose altitude. So they have especially long tail feathers that can splay out like a third pair of wings. When they tuck their wings in, they spread out their tail feathers to provide extra lift. When their shoulders are through, they spread their wings again and then bring their tail through. So what about longer tunnels? In some cases, they can fly through a tunnel with their feet out front, and then when they get far enough in, they'll kick off the bottom and gain velocity and pull themselves through.
See, if a goshawk had been chasing Stuart Little and Stuart Little too, he would have definitely been caught.
They also have a second translucent eyelid that they close when they fly in close to branches.
Huh.
The lids are thought to be used to protect their eyes like built-in aviation goggles.
That's cool, and they can still see through it?
Yeah, it's completely transparent.
Translucent?
Translucent is just light. Transparent
and yet
is clear.
Still protects them, huh? I would think it would be like a film that they could still get their eyes poked out by branches and stuff.
I'm sure if you took like a 40 mile per hour direct hit to the eyeball, But if you just kind of get smacked by a leaf.
Yeah, maybe it's not that bad. I'm picturing this 2.5 pound hawk thing flying 4 feet off the ground to attack something. They could just kamikaze and kill people. Just like fly into their chest at 40 miles an hour.
Well, I saw somebody on Twitter posted that a puffin flies like super fast and weighs about the same as a can of Coke.
They do not look like they fly very fast.
55 miles per hour.
What? At the horizontal speed? So
I don't know.
The Goshawk takes second
that
place.
That might be like little dives, and like their flight style doesn't look like it's very straight line.
I don't think diving should count. Like, yeah, I can move over 100 miles an hour if I jump out of an airplane.
Imagine getting hit with a pointy can of Coke at 55 miles an hour.
I mean, the Coke can is dead, but so are you.
Yeah. But there's a video on YouTube they put a GoPro on a goshawk flying through the woods, and it's crazy. Like you see it in the distance, like flying directly at a thicket, and then it finds like a little opening to just shoot through.
This is the Tarzan of birds.
It is. I was thinking when I got to the part when he was like, he's flying through things, kicking off branches.
Ooh up a day, ooh up a day, son of man. We're talking about the goshawk.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I got.
All right, and that's all I got. So that was the goshawk, the northern goshawk in particular, but that's the most common one. So for you out there in Podcastia, keep a sharp eye out, nest in high places, and torpedo your way through the trees like the goshawk here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy. That was bad.
Hey Taxonomy Titans, thanks for listening to the episode. Just a few quick things. As always, reviews and social media engagement are greatly appreciated, but recommending the podcast to friends is the best way to help us grow. If you'd like some LDT flavored merch, check out teespring.com/stores/taxonomy-teas. That's it. Thanks for listening all the way to the end.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
That was like one of this might be hyperbole, but that was the single coolest thing I'd ever seen in my childhood.
A guy surfing on trees.
That was so cool. I wanted to do that so badly, and then I got bit by ants a lot. So
you went outside on a tree and tried to slide on it?
Yeah.
And the thing that deterred you from that was ants.
Barefoot, because I was barefoot. Because Tarzan's barefoot, and that is clearly why he was able to slide.